that I didn't go live. I am back. I hope everyone had a great year. Happy New Year, because we are right now in 2022. It's a new year. I hope you guys have everything positive and perfect. There's no perfection. Anyways, I come here to speak about something that happened to me, and I do love sharing um, to others some situation that I feel like other people are dealing with. And I am someone who hate injustice and like unfairly. So as you know that I've been dealing with this abusive relationship, that I told you guys that I was married to someone very abusive, and I left like in 2018. This is when the fight started. I mean, when I said the fight, the court fight. And since then, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Since then, we had been back and forth. You know why? And this is funny because it's not like this person is a celebrity for him to keep fighting, you know. But some people, as you know, people who has narcissistic personality disorder, they like to fight, they don't like to lose, and they just love negativity, they love bad energy, they inspire by drama, and they just, it's just bad. They love anything that is bad, they inspire by that. Anyways, so that's why you guys didn't see me for so long. I had to take care of some um, family issues, and I'm still dealing with them. Because to be honest with you, when you are dealing with an abusive relationship, even you live, if you have children with that person and you sharing custody to each other, I can tell you this person will continue abusing you emotionally, because what they do, they're using your children against you, and that's what my the father of my children is still doing. So my ex-husband, my soon-to-be ex-husband, I find out we're still dealing with a divorce. And I don't want to go into the details because even me, I don't understand this situation. That's why I turn off social media to be to focus on prayer, and also on fasting on myself and my family, because some situation that you're dealing with, you need to be focused. You don't need the distraction in order for you to be strong enough and to stand for yourself. So we've been dealing with that, and he has been abusive to me, and we no longer living together. And when I was, every time that I tried to leave him in 2015, I tried to leave him, he always hold the child. As in 2015 I had only one kid, he always hold my son against me, right? And you know, as a mother, you cannot just leave your children behind. One second. Yes, you don't want to just, excuse me, you don't want to just leave your kids behind. So I came back and get my son. He said he cannot change, blah blah blah, and never. So in 2018, he did the same thing. He hold the children. I said okay. I came back. So that man, anyways, I'm not gonna go to this story again because I'm, even myself, I'm tired of it. Everyone is tired with this story. So he's the only one who's not tired of it. So the reason why I am here is because today something happened to me, and I want to share it to you guys, because I'm sure some people dealing with the same the same thing, or close to the same thing, right? So my children, they are with him too, and my son been telling me that, you know, the dad almost killed him. And I said, how? He said, they were playing wrestling and the dad lay on him. At first he didn't say that, he didn't say he laid on, he just said, oh, that almost killed me. But I said, how? He said, we were playing. And I said, okay. I didn't want to make a report right away. My daughter came, she said the same thing after like 3 weeks. He said, the dad almost killed her, she couldn't breathe. And I said, how this happened? And she said that he put his her brother on her and she couldn't breathe. And while my daughter was telling me that, I said, my son said, yes, mommy, I told you that 2 weeks ago, because my eyes started to turn dark and I couldn't breathe. I had to scream for so long. I couldn't breathe for him to leave. And from there, I said I have to call the police, make a report about him. I called the police, Plantation Police Department. It's not the first time I had back and forth with Plantation Police Department, and this is the reason why I want to make this. I want to speak about it on video, and also to speak more about what they did to me, because I do believe speaking up is the way that we can break anything that is unfairly to us and to others if we care. You might don't have the money, you might don't have so much the networking, but you can, if you have like a mindset, you can change things. If you refuse to allow people to take advantage of you, to do wrongdoing, you will stand and speak up, okay? So from there, I called the police in Plantation, because I called the police where I live. They said I have to call Plantation Police Department because that's where the dad live and this happened with the dad. So I called the Plantation Police Department. The police officer didn't even want to make a report. He said that it looks like that the child is just, they were just playing. I said, sir, it's not the first time the child told me that. It's been the third time. It's because his sister told me that he didn't go to details. When he told me that his eyes started to turn darker, he couldn't breathe, things like that. And the little girl tell me that also. As a mother, I have to protect my children, especially when I know who is this person. So he said, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, I said, if something happened to my children, I would be the one to be in loss. So you can't tell me that a child been complaining and it's not the first time. You guys just always, it's nothing is nothing for you. That's the state of Florida when it comes to kids. Until the child is dying, that's when they take responsibility. I'm gonna go talk also about CPS. So he came, he said he want to speak to my son. So my son tell him, I remember specifically, my son said he has to scream million times for the dad to leave him, like to remove himself on my son, because he couldn't breathe. He said, yes, my eyes started to turn darker. Less than a month while I'm at work all the way in downtown, far away from my ex. While he has a kid, my son called me while I'm at work, screaming like, mommy, I'm scared. I said, what happened? He said, I'm looking for daddy for over an hour. Daddy left us alone. And this is not the first time my children been telling me that. My son said he left him in the car. Listen, he left him in the car while he was working in the office, and keep him in the car for a long time. The child ended up by pee on him. That things that I don't like to speak, because they are like, I never thought this person could be that evil. And it took me over 5 years to speak up about what I'm telling you now. I spoke about myself. I don't like to speak about what's going on about my children. But I have to speak up, because there's women right now who are dealing with the same situation, or men who are dealing with the same situation. And it's also a fight with the state, it depends on the state that you live in. And I told them that, and anyways, the police take the report. He called me, and I had to ask my boss, I'm gonna go somewhere to speak to my son. And I couldn't go pick up my son right away because I was so far. I called the police to go do a checkup on him. And he didn't even want me to call the police because it's like, mommy, don't leave me alone. So I have to be on the phone with him and transfer the call to all of us. The police was on the phone with me. Listen, the police was on the phone saying, oh, don't worry, we're coming, don't worry. And I said, how did you get the phone? He said, Dad, forget the phone. That's how he called me. Because I taught him, like, my children do therapies, so they taught them safety, right? Guess what? Today, I went to the plantation police department. Did you know they didn't write no report about they went to pick up the kids call me to and complaining that they were, this is 5 years old and he was 6, he just turned 7. 5 and 6 years old that you left in a home by himself. And I wasn't there, so there's no way they can say, oh, the mother is the one that manipulate the son to say that. How come the child called me all the way while I'm at work to say he's scared? And you, as the police officer, you were on the phone with me, listening to the conversation, talking to the child, saying we're coming. And after they said, after they called me, when they went there, they said, oh, the dad already take the kids and leave. And they talked to the neighbors. The neighbors said everything was okay. I don't care what the neighbors said. Things that happen, you should put them on writing. Okay, the son called the mother. I got the son and the mother over the phone with me, who claimed that the dad left him alone. So when we went to the house, unfortunately, the dad already picked up the children, and the neighbor said nothing happened. That's it. We don't ask you to add more. They didn't write anything. Nothing never happened, because I have to go to the court to report that to the court. And I need those police reports. On top of it, the officer who wrote the report, he didn't exactly put what my son said, Wesley. He said he was playing with his dad, very gentle. The dad put him down, very gentle, and apologized. And I asked them, can I listen to the call? Because the police report is they wrongly put the information in the police report. I want to say something. And Child Protection Service said that I'm trying to make up things, right? That's one thing I will never do. And I don't know what you're dealing with right now. Don't ever use your children against the dad or the mother, because children, I know some people who are dealing with tough custody. I'm dealing with a tough custody. That's something I will never do. Trying to manipulate my kids to say, you have to say that, you have to do that, because I want to have them full time with me. To be honest with you, I just want this man to be fully okay in his head, because when he has the kids, that's when I have a break. So as a parent, you don't want to have full time if this person is not dangerous. Nobody wants full time if they're not really bitter and they just, when both parents has children, one has a break, the other one has a break. It makes sense. So in 2018 or 2019, when I came back to Florida, we both had full custody. The school that he sent the children, Kiddie Academy in Plantation, I went to pick up my children. The daycare director and the daycare owner didn't allow me to get the kids, because the dad said no. Even we both that registered those kids. And the police officer came, and the director of the school said I have to leave the whole entire plaza. So it took me 5 years to speak up about that, because at a point I felt very humiliated by the director. I felt very humiliated by the school, by the officer. But you know what? 2 days ago, I met a lady who been to the same situation as me. She showed me how strong that I am, how I deal with the situation, and I am so grateful to God for the mental strength that He gave me. Because some situation that you're dealing with, He can really destroy you. You can either lose your life in it or ended up by being unaddicted. Thank God I never deal with none of alcohol, drink, or anything. So she said to the officer, And the officer told me to leave the whole entire plaza. And if you know Kitty Academy in Plantation, you know there's a big plaza. So she said they own the whole entire plaza. And even you own the whole entire plaza. And the officer told me, if you don't leave, we will put you in jail. I want to tell you something right now. We're living in the United States of America. This is a country they're always talking about law and order. This is a country they're always talking about being fair, like against discrimination. When I'm talking about discrimination, I'm not talking about skin color. That's breaking the law, my parental right. The fact that you don't allow me to pick up my kids, and also you don't have no order. I have right to pick up my kids while I registered my children with the father of them. You should not be in my business. So I don't want to go into the story, to be honest with you, telling you more and more. It's a big drama. But one thing that I want to tell you is we're living in a world that people, they are mean. People, they are ready to do anything. Sometimes you question yourself, what reason this person is doing that? Even if I'm working in a place and a dad or a mother come to tell me, he did that to me, he's so mean. I said, I'm sorry, I will pray for you. Or I don't know. But I will not go intervene into someone else's business and trying to make another person's life miserable. Right? There's so much that has been going. And when I report things to Child Protection Service, one of the investigator, or I don't know, she said that if you continue, he can press charge against you. You hear how the law goes, right? So one thing that I realized with Child Protection Service in Florida, I'm not gonna speak for all CPS in the United States. They really take action until the child is almost like dying. They really not, I will say they very neglect, and they very lazy, some of them, to doing the investigation. I know for that reason in New York City they always suing them. And a lot of times it's really hard to see people who go into a career and thinking that this person will protect your children, but they don't. They really don't. And they protect the criminal. Because of what? One thing that I see with Child Protection Service, I feel like sometimes they do judge people by social status. I don't want to say all of them. And they let themselves manipulate easily, right? Now, some of the people that I see, because I see how they can take other people's children. I saw it in my eyes. They take, once somebody doesn't have a lawyer or something happened, they so easy to pick up someone else's child. Hello. And once is another person, welcome the person who is here. Once is someone who they go to the house. Oh, he's a doctor, he's this, he has money, and he doesn't look like that and can fake it. And that's why I want you guys, if you are dealing with an abusive relationship, you have to speak up. Because you know what? One thing that I've learned about abusers, they don't discriminate. This thing doesn't discriminate. The person can be, the person can be yellow, black, white, smart, intelligent, in school, or educated, money, it doesn't matter, well spoken, it doesn't matter. And you might see that person outside so well, looking good, well spoken, and this person is abusing his wife or her husband at home, abusing his children. My ex-husband doesn't look like one, but the children, one thing that I have as proof is my children has a therapy section, and the therapist has released the information that the children told her into the therapy section. Guess what? The Child Protection Service investigator, she never reached out to that lady to find out what's going on. And and yes, I wanted to share that because I said in that type of situation, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they know to who to go, right? You know why I'm talking about Plantation Police Department? When I was living with my ex-husband. They came knocking at the door. Some police, or while I was in the kitchen, I didn't even know it was police. I said, "Who was there?" He said, "Oh, the police." I said, "Why they there?" He said, "Oh, they just want support." I said, "Support for what?" He said, "Oh, sometimes when you support the police department, they protect you when you have problem. Protect you in what? If I support something, that doesn't mean if I do any crime, they're gonna protect me. But unfortunately, I don't know. Since then, I have this thing in my mind. And he does the same thing for the school. He always said, you can buy some diapers, buy them something, they're gonna. Narcissists, abusers, they know how to protect themselves. They know the law, they know people, they know how to make themselves look good, they know how to buy people, they have all the flying monkeys around to protect them. And I want you right now, if you're dealing with an abusive relationship or your children are dealing with one, it doesn't matter the child protection service. They don't do the investigation right. They don't do their job. The police officer don't do things. Things has been rigged for you. Things has been unfairly. You have to speak up. Don't give up. Because we're living in a world right now, you can't trust nobody. This guy who is a billionaire, Ashstein, now he killed himself in jail. That's what we heard. All his nonsense has been done majority of the time in Florida. He went to court in Florida back and forth. He always get away with murder until something happened in New York City. That's when he got really. They take him to jail. And you know who was helping him to do those things? A young woman who was recruiting young girls in South America to bring them to the U.S. Said she gonna give them jobs, and she just bring them to sleep with a young man, sleep with them too, doing crazy things. We're living in a world you cannot just judge people by looks, by characters, by titles, by the way they speak. You don't know their heart. You can see people's face, but you cannot see their heart. Right now, I want to tell you, whatever situation that you're dealing with, you have to be able to speak up and tell the way it is. And if you are also dealing with the same situation, put a comment right there. Feel free to share, because I do believe together we are stronger. And this fight is not only my fight. It's the fight for all the women and men and children who've been dealing with abusive relationship, who are dealing with narcissist parents, who are dealing with all these nonsense criminals in the back who are protecting the abuser. And I need you right now to come and form some things. And because I know together we are stronger, this is the time for you to speak out and don't keep everything inside. Because if you keep everything inside, you might need time. Like me, I need time because I didn't want to put my children's stuff outside. But now this is the time for me to speak up about it, because I know there's other mother who are still dealing with the same thing. I met this lady. She is very, very successful. But that lady, she been in an abusive relationship for 20 years. She got addicted to drugs. She got addicted to alcohol. I took my time to speak to her. Today I spoke to her. When I met that lady, I prayed with her. She started crying. I cried too because it really touching me. And today I spoke to her. She said, "You know what, Marie? I think God really sent you to speak to me." And I really feel like, she said, "I will never drink anymore, Marie." Because I told her, I said, "You're stronger than that." When somebody is trying to destroy you, you allow them to destroy you. You let them win. But when you stand for yourself, you said, "No, I will become. I will not allow you to destroy me. I will not allow a narcissist to allow me to drink alcohol because I don't drink. I'm not going to allow you to make me smoke, to make me take drugs, to make me turn crazy. I can be stressed. I'm human, but I will not allow you to allow me to be an addicted person." So I want you to start thinking like that, because I know it's not easy when you're dealing with this type of people. It's overwhelmed. But one thing that I can say, if I can deal with it sober, you can deal with it sober too. They're not easy because they have the whole entire world protect them. Sometimes that's how we feel, but it's not gonna stay forever. There's a point, the thing that has been done in the dark is gonna come out in the light. And I wanted to share this story because when I see the report, when I asked for the other report, they said, "Oh, we went there was nothing." I said, "Okay, there was nothing, you should write it down." There's okay. The kids called, they were left alone, they were scared, they called the mommy, "Why you didn't put anything?" And this is not the first time. I kept having the same situation with them. So I really, really want to share this video to you, and I want you to share your story, and I want you to share the video too, about the unfairly that in Florida, that South Florida, that we're dealing with sometimes. And when it comes to domestic violence situation, how it's a fight for women and also the children who got stuck on it. And if the parents had some sort of money and they know people, it can be very bad. Florida is a place that is very, very corrupt. I use this word a lot because that's how I feel when what I'm dealing with. And I want you to understand that we can break that. Yes, we can. Have a wonderful day.